Okay. I do believe I am live. Get my computer here. It seems to be chattering to itself. Okay. Where am I? How's everybody doing? I hope you are well. And making the best of sheltering in place. Hi. This is Dreaming Reality with God and music. Although I'm going to mute that, and I'll mention the music in a minute. I'm going to check something here quick. I'm an amateur. So I had music playing and I don't hear it, and I should hear it. And I now know why. Because I had to unexpectedly do something. I ran and did it and came back and forgot to put this in. Okay, I can hear the music. And if you want to hear the music that I'm listening to right now, and you happen to be here, because I don't know what we'll be playing in the future. If you happen to be watching it not live, I have a link to it in the description. So, I was going to check one more thing. I want to make sure that I'm actually no, I don't want that. Bear with me. I'm going to talk about, I'm going to start off with coronavirus. Let me go ahead and pop that up while I check something else here or two. That's London right now in the morning. I believe it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I was going to start with China, but as many outside China and within China know, that's not looked upon as something one does. So let me go back here. I seem to be live. Okay, I hear myself. So there is sound. Okay, but you don't hear the music, which usually I have music playing, which it is for me and could be for you. Before I get distracted though, let me minimize that so I'm not seeing myself. I have it off on another monitor to the side. Okay, coronavirus. As you see, London. Where are we? Let's check another one out. There's Russia. So I would have started with China, then I went to the UK and London. Now we're in Russia. Now we're in New York City, which it's 3 o'clock in the morning, a little after 3, 3:05, 3:04. Pretty quiet, unusual. Never been there, but just looking at it seems unusual. This is what I'm listening to. I don't know if you can see that. I need to go this way. Angelic music. Archangels, Invocation. I was looking for mercy. That's what I was feeling. Looking for music earlier today. If you know anything about me, I know that I have a connection with what I believe is God. That's the simplest way to put it. Anything else just going to cause confusion. I think the great majority have an understanding of what God is, if you believe. Even if you don't, you still have an understanding of what this other person who does believe. Getting distracted by watching. I kind of want to move on. This is where I live. This is our current stats. We have 16, I believe. Yeah, 16. I've watched that grow from 1 to 2, a relatively short amount of time. Most of them, it seems, have come from outside. They caught it outside. They didn't catch it here, but a couple have. Okay. And this is the current as 2 minutes. They update it every 2 minutes. So there's the current numbers. Just kind of brought this page up to highlight this. The overall total of the world were over 1 million. And it will keep growing. At least 1 million that have caught it. And yeah, so there that is. And I may come back to that later. Mask. Although first I should probably finish with the mercy. That was what I was feeling in me as I'm thinking about music, listening to music even, and you get a list of suggested music up next, off there to the side, and it could be lengthy. You keep scrolling down, and I scrolled a little down looking through what was there, what caught my eye, and that link of music caught my eye. So I clicked, and so I've had it playing, and that's what I'm listening to right now. If I could put it on right now, they're playing it live right now, I would. And they may not care, they may care, but that's irrelevant. The link is there in the description to where the music is that's playing, if that interests you at all, because it interests me. Music is very key, a key, many keys, but a key that has a purpose. What does music do? It vibrates. That's the simplest way of expressing it visually or even mentally. Imagine vibration. And those vibrations reach out. They start at a point and expand out. A bubble, a sphere. They move through you, they touch you, and there's a reaction that takes place. With the mind. As strange as that sounds, maybe not. To some, there is a reaction. Something happens. I feel that there is a connection with me that's happening in the music. And what do I mean? And I'm not going to spend a long time on this, but it's important to everything that's happening right now. There's a communication happening, a dialogue that's taking place with the music, but it's not just the music. It's moved so far beyond music, but that's a beginning, and it makes a lot of sense because you can't deny that there's vibration occurring and that it's moving about and through, and it's happening. It happens. This presence is able to read your mind. That's the simplest way to put it. We could spend days talking about what do I mean, how could that ever happen, why. I want to stick to keeping it simple. That's what happens. This presence knows your mind. It does. It just does. I know that's like the last thing people are thinking in many minds. Ain't happening. Not me. Not my mind. I'm going to put up a wall and only what I want exposed, revealed, however you choose to look at it. Bottom line, there couldn't be something that has that kind of, sorry to say power, but that's not the word. This presence did not go out with intent to have an ability, gift. This presence just is with this ability. It always has been, and always will be. I have no idea if anybody's here with me at the moment live. If there is, if there are, hi and welcome. I don't know how long I'm going to go, but there's a lot on my mind. I don't use a script. Sometimes I write notes. I did write a couple things, but I'd have to take some effort to go over and reach, and I didn't write enough that I think I need to. I pretty much can remember whatever. Along with all the million other mental notes. My day. I like to start my videos late. I find if I'm going to do a live right there at the end of the day, so that I can express where I am at that point in time. And all the things that brought me to that point. Right now it's Corona. Mask. In particular, I'm going to start off with. And then go from there. I just wanted to explain that the music and this presence, and I'm going to come back to it, I think, after I've gone through the whole Corona thing. This presence knows your thoughts, your intentions, everyone, everything. There's nothing that can hide from it. I don't want to go there yet. This presence, knowing your thoughts, which you've got to know, that in itself is an amazing ability. What else does this presence able to do? Well, knowing your thoughts, and if you take the time and listen to music, which shouldn't be very difficult, I think the great majority of us listen to music at some point every day. A good number do. And if you keep in mind that as you're listening to the music, that this presence, knowing your thoughts, has the ability to answer you with the music that plays. I'm not going to speak too much on that. I've written enough about my whole journey through coming to embrace that without doubt. That's I see my camera's a little off, and the green part of the screen's not working over there. I don't know, I'm 2 weeks in sheltering in place. 2 weeks here, 19th March, 2 weeks in a day, 2 days I guess now, because we're on to the 4th, right? Yep. The music and this presence and communication. I see it as a form of communication. I've had enough, I call them synchronicities, just be safe. And I feel confident knowing that if I were able to take my experience, somehow put it onto a disc, I could like edit it. You don't need to go through my entire life, but certain things as they've transpired and happened, especially of late, the last few years, you would, I don't know, I don't want to say what another would do. I think though that it's safe to say there would be some wonder, like wow, I never thought about it like that, but now that it's crossed my desk, I'm wondering. Anyway, as far as this presence, I don't spend as much time as I used to. I was real focused and maybe even obsessed with the amount of time I was giving this presence, asking, thinking thoughts, and listening to the music for answers. Thoughts even, and not necessarily an answer, but I want to know what this presence thinks. I know plenty of what humanity thinks. I don't do that as much as I used to, but it's there. It's never left. I think thoughts, spend a moment focused, press play on a random source of music. You don't know what's going to play, but if something plays, and the music that plays, it answers my thoughts. Short of being able to have somehow you can see what's in my mind and what I thought and thinking, you can't, I could think that, it's just, it could be, but it could also be the other. Well, yeah. Am I going to spend my life there wondering and knowing that it could be one or the other, or am I going to pick one? I'm going to pick one. And I chose and choose to see that there is a presence, and it's in my mind. It's somehow connected, interested in me. It's interested in all of us. I said at the beginning that this presence knows your thoughts, everything. That should not be too hard to grasp, though, really, if you think about it. This moment in time and space and the technology and our understanding of things. You can take a computer right now and have it begin to process and calculate probabilities. It's also, we're all connected through this internet, this system that knows to a certain degree, at least that's what we're told. I have no idea. I've come to this point in my life where I realize more than ever that we're not alone. Okay? Well, just toss that in there. We're not alone. We never have been. I'm of that camp. This presence is ancient. If there were a beginning, that's this presence. I don't necessarily subscribe to beginnings in a conventional sense, and how we perceive the world currently. You have a beginning and an ending. You're born, you die. Philippines, I just see there. Now I want to know how many. 3,018 infected. That caught my eye because it highlighted Philippines as it's going down through the list of places. I have some Filipino in me. My grandfather from my mother's side was Filipino. Now I'm getting distracted. I feel like I should minimize that too. I know how to come back to it and put it back up on the screen if I want to. So now I've got the Pleiades in front of me right now on my main display. I'll even minimize that. So now it's the Pleiades. Awesome picture. It's in 4K. My brother took the photo with a telescope that he had a few years back. Took many hours, I believe days, nights, to get the picture. And the camera's got to be still and motionless and all this time. Anyway, that's what is in front of me as I begin to tell a tale of the mask. Again, I hope you are all well. Okay. I have no distractions. I have the beautiful Pleiades in front of me. I have some music in my right ear. And a camera, a window. And I'm imagining you, all of you, right now. Great majority of you are sheltering in place by order, mandated. You don't have a choice. That's new. That's new. It's new for me. I'm 53 and I have a pretty good memory. I have a particularly early memory that I'm not going to go into in this stream, but I've talked about it and written about it on my Facebook page. From a very early age, I have memory. So, yeah. Where do you begin with all of this? There's just so much happening right now. There is. And you know what's different about it? Because there's always stuff happening. There is always stuff happening. What's different is that you and I and everyone right now, pretty much a good majority, have the time to think about it. And I say that, and it's not to take away from what's actually going on right now, but the fact of the matter is you have no control over it, do you? I mean, you can feel the way you feel, but is that going to stop? Is that going to change what's happening? The situation, the lockdown, quarantine, whatever one chooses to call it. It's not. You just have to write it out. I mean, you can talk about it all you want. And people are. I am right now. I'm here in California. Central Valley, California. One of the breadbaskets to the world when it comes to food. Vegetables, fruits, nuts, flowers. I mean, obviously I haven't been spending lots of time in the grocery store, but somebody is, because when I did go to the grocery store, there's areas that there's nothing there. That's new. There's so much new about what's happening right now. Thankfully, it's for things that I don't really need at some point in the future. Yeah, I'm sure I will. And hopefully that's not going to be an issue, because the people that have been buying lots and lots of it are going to get to a point where, I got too much. I don't need any more. But, who am I? I don't know. Let's start with China, because I wanted to start with a live stream camera of China, which I didn't spend a considerable amount of time looking for. They may be out there. I have no idea, but not doing just a search for live cam China. This virus started there, as far as being communicably spread. That's all I can say. I can't say anything more than that, but I can say that. Uh, there's no way for me to say any more than that. I wasn't there. The only thing I have is what China has said for the most part, and those people that try to get information out via the network. So it began in China. Wuhan. Woohoo. That's such a cool sound. Woohoo. An owl. I remember being a little boy and we lived out in the country on Oak Road. We had a number of trees, different types of trees that grew. And there were owls. So I got to hear that sound many nights. Wuhan. We're told it started there as far as being communicably spread. What spread it? Where the where the contagion came from? Who was the person who transmitted it from one to another? I don't think that can be answered fully yet. Other than that's where it started being spread. I think the numbers make no sense. Okay, I'm looking at the numbers on these live counts. And there's a few different ones. You can look at it from different ways. And right now we're at the top. Okay. And I'm looking at us and China's numbers and taking into account population. Us, them, and the numbers are just not. When I see them, there's just something happens in my brain and my eyes, just because it doesn't make any sense. They just seem way lower than they should be. And if that's the case, which I don't think I'm the only one that thinks the numbers are a lot lower than they should be. If that's the case, and they're actually much, much higher, I'm like, why? I mean, really, why? Why lie? Pride? Ego? Money? Money. Is that why? because I don't understand. And I think I deserve an answer, because right now I'm not pointing fingers. I'm saying that this should have been taken care of much earlier on, starting with China. I came on board around the middle of January and have been glued ever since. I have. I want to know. I mean, I'm aware of all the other things that are going on right now, but that's like the world focus right now. So, yeah. It just seems like there's so many blunders taking place. Start with China, but it's not just China. Again, I'm not going to play the name blame game, but I will say I'll just end it with, we can start in China and end in the U.S. of A. with the whole blunder thing, just to keep it balanced. I'm not picking on any one individual, nation, whatever. I'm just trying to see it in the most simple way that I can. Keeping it simple, keeping it real, but keeping it simple. The numbers don't make sense. With China. And I'm not saying China's alone either. There could, who knows? I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Just that it's out there. It's a thought. It's just kind of in my mind back there, just like it's like one of those WTFs. And I can stand here and feel this way right now because look at where I'm at, where you're at, the situation right now for a good many of you. Stay home. Stay home. Okay, if that weren't bad enough, but then it makes sense. This is more par for the course. So you have this virus, this contagion that's spreading, and we're learning more and more and more about it. There's a growing number of people who I know why too. A little itch on my nose. It's because of all this. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your nose. Get near your eyes. Which I understand. It makes sense. Not that it's easy. I mean, you haven't been living with this now known element that could be out there, and that's where I was heading with there's a growing number of people who believe that this is, it's not real, that even to the degree that nobody's dying, And I'm just kind of blown away. Because I don't know. I mean, I'm not there. I'm here. And I'm here because I was told to, and I'm imagining that's what everybody else is doing for the most part, because they were told to. So how do they know? We're having to rely on what information does get out there. So I don't know. Nobody's died here, I can say that. Knock on some wood. Here, I'll even give it some extra and grab my staff, my stick. Staff. I'll also take my hat off. Because I'm not in any hurry. I want to get my thoughts out there as clear as I possibly can. I'm going to be trying to rush them. I've been thinking about, like I said, you can't help but not think about this and everything that's happening. So there's a growing number of people. Not real. It's like some psyop. And all the world's a player. And you don't need to wear a mask. I could keep going, but I like to end on that. I'll just say that. You can imagine everything in between that and this point, the mask. Don't need the mask. Okay. Is the virus real? Honestly, I can't tell you it is or isn't. And that has to be the same scenario playing out for the majority of you. I mean, it's not your line of work. So why would you know? Other than what you are being told. However you're getting the information. The news, you're getting it online. And if I am to believe what I am hearing and seeing, there is a virus that is spreading. The outbreak began in China, Wuhan, which I find interesting for a number of reasons. The first one is the biological facility there in Wuhan, and their logo, which is an umbrella, and it looks exactly like the one right out of the Resident Evil series. For all those out there that know that franchise, that they know that logo. The colors are different. It's only like 2 colors, and then I think outlined. Anyway, it's identical. Then you take the word raccoon, which was the name of a city, the city in the franchise, where the biological entity is housed, and you take the letters in the word raccoon, you jumble them up and mix them around and put them back in a different place. You can put them back in a place that all the letters will spell corona. What's that all about? Is that just some weird chance? For me, there's part of me that says that's just weird chance, but then there's a part of me that says it's more than just weird. It's like a synchronicity with everything else that's happening in my life and the perception that I'm forming, and how I see the world and am interacting with it. A lot of it is up here. It is. I'm not going to deny that, because I think what's coming next that's the new playing field. That all aside, right now, let's keep it real to the physical. And I don't know if the virus is real or not. Again, I'm being told that it is. I'm being shown images. I'm listening to people from around the world, leaders, those under them, sharing about what's happening and what they're doing. Okay? Now today, this is why I'm on this page. So I feel passionate about it. This morning I had to go and get money to get a money order so that I could pay for my rent. I didn't want to do that. I really didn't. Why? Because I'm being told that there is a virus. Okay? Now, someone who has no proof one way or the other, whether it's happening or not, whether it's real or not, there is no wrong in that person going about their day under the assumption that it is happening, because that's what they're being told. And maybe it is happening. Maybe it's not. But if I go in that direction, then I'm going to act accordingly to that direction. If I go the other way, works the same way. But they're at odds with each other. They're at odds. If this virus is real, which I believe it's real, I think it's a lot more than just a natural occurring virus, but I don't want to get into that right yet. I think it's a virus that's real. Either that, because I've got to keep it simple. As far as my thoughts go, there's just too much going on to think anything more. It's either that, it's real, or it's this bizarre, twisted psyop. It's like a war game. Because it doesn't make any sense to me. Why? What is the end game to that? I know it's the New World Order. I know. I hear that all the time. I've been aware of that for quite a number of years, decades. It's been on my mind. Because I don't have much. And I never saw myself ever having much. Early on, it wasn't for lack of wanting it. For a moment there. Live the high life. And then as I grew, matured, and realized that for me, there was no amount of money that would ever bring me happiness, because that is not, life is not about money. It's not. Life is not for sale. Love isn't either. Life and love are not for sale. And anybody who believes in that, and I think a lot of people do, I don't think they see it that way. Maybe if they sat down and listened to thoughts on why they could be, they might wonder. But I wonder what it's like for all the others out there that they live by themselves. There's nobody else that lives with them. There's no children. There's no spouse. It's just them sheltering in place. This is something that has never happened in our lifetime. And I don't think that while the numbers that are going to pass from this contagion as it spreads across the world will be as high as those that came or about from the Spanish flu 102 years ago, 1918. I don't think there's too many people around that have memories of that. I'm not saying there isn't, but their memories would be viewed from a very young mind. So this is new, and while the numbers again won't be like those of the Spanish flu, the impact of the event itself, the sudden outbreak, and the potential to spread much, much more rapidly. If Wuhan hadn't locked down, and then other areas in China began to one by one lock down, and it would have kept spreading. Because that's what viruses do. This whole thing is just so surreal. My mind is just constantly blown by, is this really happening? Are people saying the things they're really saying? Are leaders doing the things they're really doing? Today, the CDC recommends wearing a mask. Why? Why would the CDC do that? And who is the CDC? The Center for Disease Control. And they're a branch of the government. If you want to get all technical, they are. very connected. We the people put them there. Why? For this very thing that's happening right now. And they're telling us this. Nothing wrong with wearing a mask. Good thing to do. They're doing that or saying that because there's a virus out there that is spreading. And how do you stop it? Well, eventually a day will come and you'll get a vaccine. I don't even want to get into vaccines. I don't take vaccines. I haven't. I mean, I can't remember having anything shots like that kind of stuff since I was a little. But that's neither here nor there right now. That's not happening right now and won't for some time. The CDC recommends a mask. Can't go wrong. Or can you? Because I see comments, I see videos of people out there who have a different version. They see the events that are unfolding in a different way. It's not that it's different as much as it's askew, like out of focus. It's almost there. But there's just that little bit of blur. The CDC says wear a mask because there's this virus out there spreading. It's the only reason they said it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. What they didn't say or do was push it any further than they did. And there's a reason for that. And it's simple. For one, there is a supply issue. It is what it is. There isn't a mask. Even the most basic, simple mask, there is not something like that out there at the moment. Yeah, I saw the president. I'm getting to him, and he's holding up masks and different supply parts, like the gown, the covering, body covering. And he mentioned how the mask you could have picked them up for, I don't know if it was 75 cents or 90 cents. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I'd like a couple of those. I'm not stingy, I'm not a hog, a hoarder. But for 90 cents, I'd take 2 or 3 to have, especially during a time right now when, if I'm to believe what I am being told is happening, there's going to be those times when you need to go out, run to the store and do some grocery shopping if you can, because you didn't quite grab enough that you should have needed. Plus there's those certain things like milk or like the fresher items I have no idea. I'm under the impression that those are all items that are hard and probably going to get harder to get. Oh my. This is all so crazy. The CDC said what they did because, like I just said, I think that's kind of an obvious I think that it's an obvious how do I put it? Oh, so I'm starting to think about too many things now. Like jumping ahead in my mind. How long have I been here? Wow, it's been an hour? Am I even still going? I should have something up so that I know that I'm even streaming. Okay, it says I am. I don't know how long, but I think it's been about an hour. Yeah. It's hard to say anything in these days because, at least for me, because in my mind, I don't want to offend anybody. I mean, late I've had my moment of like anger and frustration and venting and but for the most part, that's not me. I try to be cool, calm, collected. As far as what I think is happening, I share what I feel is happening, and I tend to keep it from where I'm standing, because that's all I have. Again, like with this virus, I don't know whether the virus is real or not. All I can do is rely on what I hear another or others say, show, and share. But for the most part, all I have is me when it comes down to it. CDC recommends no mask, or no mask. See, that's what I'm thinking, because that's the thing that's got me all just like, what? You don't need to wear a mask. So the president today or yesterday shares this information from the CDC. Your people, you're paying them. They have a job, and it's to protect you. And so we're told. Now, I think that, I mean, I don't know, again, because there's a twisted story that's playing out. Hopefully it's coming to an end, but it's there nonetheless. I have no doubts. But the majority of the people in that organization are just like you and me. You know, when they get off the job, they go home, and they have a life outside work. They're not planning to do harm, to pass along bad information. But yeah, I'll grant you that, I can only say the most likely the majority. I can't say all of them because, again, we live in a pretty twisted world, and money. I don't have any money laying around, but I don't like to have money on me anyways, just because it's dirty, nasty stuff. But money. So the president is sharing this information. CDC recommends wear a mask. Hey, Mr. President, are you gonna wear a mask? I'm imagining in my mind because I was waiting for somebody to ask, because I'm thinking in my mind that why aren't you wearing a mask? I mean, you're the president of the United States. Okay, you're the leader. Everybody, there's this crisis going on right now, and it's growing. And it's growing a lot faster than you ever thought could be possible. Because you haven't lived it, and I have never lived it. Nobody's lived. I can't say nobody, but 99% plus has no memory of anything like this happening, especially to the extent that it is happening. Just making sure I'm still alive. So nobody has that kind of a memory. So what do you do once you realize it's happening? That's where we're at. Clearly we're doing, I think we're doing a good job of testing, because the numbers that's why we're seeing such big numbers, and we're being honest about them for the most part. I'm sure it's not entirely accurate. Accidents, mistakes get entered in, but for the most part, if this is happening, if this is real, for all yous out there that say, hold on there, because it ain't happening. If this is happening, I'm like, beside myself. I want to be serious and just have it all together with me. But then there's this happening, and I can't help but chuckle. And I feel like, that makes me this bad person. Letting that get to me to that point that I lose control. Can't hold the laughter because it's not appropriate, because this is not funny. Whatever's happening is not funny. If it's real or not, it's not funny. The president should have gone up there and had a mask on. They all should have a mask on. I mean, that would have made a story worthy of looking back and remembering. See them all. Or you know what, even better, see them all with a mask except for the president as he came out, but holding one. And as he made that announcement, began the process of putting one on. See how easy it is, people? I loves you. Loves you all. This one's for you. This one's for us. No, not this president. I'm not going to wear one. You can. I'm not going to wear one. Gee, thanks. Oh, really? Thanks. I've been very indifferent about President Trump. I don't see eye to eye with him on some things, but for the most part, I think I kind of get him. But then he does things that I feel like, I don't want to use the word, it's not dumb. It's like, I've said jump, but that's only in that I see, it's like he says things that if he took just another second or two and gave it a little bit more thought it out, maybe 5 seconds more, he wouldn't have said it. Because I'm thinking I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have, not that way. I wouldn't have put it that way. Maybe that's the way to say it, to put it. I mean, you want people to be healthy. You want to stop the spread of a virus. Putting a mask on aids in stopping the spread of any virus or flu or whatever it is that you're carrying, and expelling it in that way. Breathing, coughing. I don't know how the stream is doing because I can hear my computer acting up. It's probably gonna dump me here at some point. President, I just think, should have put a mask on. It would have made a huge statement, not only to everyone in this country, but to the world. I mean, why would you not? Now we have all these people out there that are like, I'm not going to wear a mask. I won't. Why? Why would I want to wear a mask? President's not. They already probably most likely have this theory in their minds of what's going on, like the psyop, the elite, the Illuminati, the cabal, whatever. Take your pick, out to get you. That's one of those things. It's just like with everything. I don't know. So I honestly can't say one way or the other whether any of these things are happening. From the flu to the cabal. But what I can do is take something out of the experience, the thoughts that it has, I don't want to say forced me, but that I have found myself thinking. And I have the choice. You have the choice. And nobody else can make that for you. Only you. You don't need any of this for all your dreams to come true. And I can say that right now because right now it's just the world is crashing. What was it? How Chris from Peak Prosperity put it in his last stream earlier yesterday. Was it the depression has arrived? Or the arrival of the depression? Basically, we're in a bad time. And it's not going to get better anytime soon. I think that's going to be the hardest part to this, that not only is what is happening just out of the blue new, many are just kind of like dumbstruck, and then you have that element of the fear tossed in. Not only do we not know what we're going to do, yeah, many, you don't want to get sick. You don't want to take that chance because this stuff can be rough. That's what we're hearing. That's what we're told. I listen to what is known or being shared, and it is a changing narrative as we learn more. Like now they're saying the asymptomatic element to this, maybe is how they put it, maybe larger than they thought. That the numbers who are or have that element are a lot higher than they initially thought. Now if that's true, that's not like a good thing, because that means that the chances, the odds are now higher that there's more out there that have it. A lot more than you thought or you think would be there. And that's because most don't put the notion or the understanding of exponential growth. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024, 2048. It doubles. It keeps doubling. Every time it doubles, the number grows considerably. It gets to a certain part where it just takes on a certain point in the doubling where it just kind of explodes and takes off. A matter of months it took us to get to 1 million infected. It's not going to take another 4 months to get to 2 million infected. Not when you have an event that is doubling as the amount of infected grow. This is a trip. It's like all the movies we've watched over the years. It's happening. And there's no zombies running around or anything like that. But there's elements to that story that for that time that were fictional. Now here we are and it's happening. We're all, for the most part, locked down. We have no idea what's going on outside. What is going on outside? I mean, yeah, there's people outside, but for the most part, the majority of people are not outside. They're not. I mean, the couple times that I've had to go out, and I do wear a mask, there's not as much traffic, whether it be a vehicle or pedestrian, a person. There isn't. Wearing a mask. What's wrong with wearing a mask? Why would somebody look at another that chooses to wear a mask and instill in that person any kind of animosity or question of character? Like, why would you believe that? Because I think that's crazy or insane. No, I'm not crazy or insane. I hearken back to, I have no effing clue what is true and what isn't. Because I'm just a simple person. I'm a simple Joe. Just like most of you are. You are. Most of us are. We're just simple. In the big scheme of things, we're just simple. Why would I know more than what I know as far as certain things are concerned? I'm here and I'm not there. I'm here because I was told to be here. Locked down in sheltering in place. Because there's a virus. And it can kill you. The older you are, the harder most likely you're going to have with it. Not that everybody who's older succumbs, but it is a risk factor that has been variabled into the equation that's forming. The older you are, if you are older and you have certain issues, health issues, those are only going to aggravate your condition as far as having this virus. But those aren't the only people that have problems. The younger people, into the 50s, into the 40s, into the 30s. It just depends on the person, and who knows? The numbers seem to be showing, and I was seeing that here in Merced. I could go and pull that back up. Because it listed how many of different age groups were infected. And the numbers that it was showing in this county were that people 18 to 30, 30 something, that age bracket, they had the most infected. There was more of them infected than older people or younger than 18. Now, hearing this new news of the asymptomatic element, that's an alarm bell going off to be cautious, be safe, use even more of both caution and safety. They think that it's because these people are, well, I think it's just obvious, like a no-brainer. They're younger, for one. They have less conditions. They haven't lived long enough to develop them like the older people have that have been chugging down soda pop, chips. I don't want to get into food and all of those things. Keep it simple. Those are two good simple things. Beverage and a food. And a lot of people, a lot of Americans, a lot of people around the world chug and consume. So we have this younger population that's going around with this virus. If I am to believe what I am being told, I have no reason to not believe other until I see something that undoubtedly gives me pause. I mean, I can listen to people talking about, well, such and such says, and such heard, but until I see it from the mouth of the source, I have to go on what I know and what I'm told, because I don't know. And if this is happening, then I have to live and go about my day with concern. This age group that seems to be more infected and not show signs for a time, days, a week, more, it's because they're healthier. Takes the virus a little longer to reach in there, take hold. And the whole time that in between beginning and then getting to that point where you now see signs, this individual is out spreading it to other people. And other people aren't thinking I need to be away from this person because they look completely healthy. They seem fine and dandy. They spread it. The person that goes home that got it, they don't know they got it. And the last thing they're thinking is they got it because the person they were with, you would never have known if they had it. That person goes out the next day and they spread it to somebody else who has no idea, because you've got these two people that are now infected out there going about their day, an ordinary day in the life of any of us, and just breathing, a little cough perhaps, nothing major, nothing to really raise any alarms, is spreading this. That worries me. The number, that's why we're seeing what's happening in New York City. I mean, I'm not looking at this and saying, this could never happen, because the way it is happening makes perfect sense. The numbers are getting bigger. And I understand how exponential growth, what that means. And that's what's happening. I think it's like the governor said yesterday in New York, that we're seeing what we see happening there. We're seeing it in these other states. The numbers are by no means compare as far as how big they are. Right now they're fairly small, but New York was just like that. And then it began to grow and grow. I'm hoping California has done it, because we've been doing this lockdown. Well, how late were we? I feel like we should have been locked down back in February, personally. That's just me. If this is real and it's happening, that's when it should have happened. I mean, other countries were already reporting it back in February, fairly early on. At that point, it's obvious. It's out. People are traveling the world. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see projections. It'd be interesting to see some kind of a visual representation of the movement that goes on in a day. You know, the average movement that occurs around the entire world. Because I just feel pretty strongly that if you held that kind of data in your hands, and I know it's there, it's got to be there. How could we not have such a census of the movement that's occurring? You know, we can use averages and get a pretty good representation. And it's all around the world. It's all around the world. Just in that first day. So right there, bing, it's everywhere. It has to be. And it is. It's what we see. So yes, back in February, I would have gone to the lockdown. I mean, if that's what you're going to do, that's what you got to do, and we did. That's when it should have happened. I mean, it was too late. I don't think we ever needed to. I mean, we would have been going through what we're going through now. We did the lockdown, and now we're doing this relief stimulus and all that good stuff. We would have had to do that anyway, no matter what, whether we acted back in February or not, and waited till we did. That didn't matter. We would have still done the whole package deal. But what would have been different would have been the amount of time that we had to be in lockdown, sheltering in place. That would have been reduced dramatically. That's just a no-brainer. And then you make everybody wear a mask. You just start right from the very get-go. I mean, if you're going to stop the country, because that's what's happened. Everybody wears a mask. Because all wearing a mask will do is no wrong. All a mask will do is keep you. This is the most important part. It keeps you from spreading it. Okay? That's the most important part of wearing a mask. It's not so much about you not catching a virus because you're wearing the mask, as much as it is about you not giving another the virus if you have it. And that doesn't mean that because you're wearing a mask you have the virus. No. You don't know if you have it. I don't know if I have it. Do you know? Not many do, because we haven't all been tested. And if you did have it, if you took the test right now and you found out you had it, well, you didn't just get it, for one, and you had to get it from somewhere. So you have to start backtracking. You know, where you been? What's all your interaction been? And then you find out it's been days, that it had to have happened days and days prior, and in all that time and all the people you interacted with, you opened up a scenario, a possibility where each and every one of them gets the virus. And out of all of them, odds are some of them are going to be the same, where they are asymptomatic and they don't know they have it, but they do, and they're able to spread it. And they're none the wiser, and nobody around them is none the wiser as well. I I wear a mask when I go out. I don't have some huge storage of masks. I have, I don't know how many I have. Like 3 maybe? I don't know how long this is going to last. I do know this. I don't want to go out. If this is really happening, I do not want to go out into the public and interact where there's lots of people or numbers of people in fairly close contact. Even this whole 6 foot away. It kind of works, kind of doesn't. I don't think that... I guess this is where the whole mask thing would have made that even. It would have just reinforced the social distancing. Wow. Uh-oh. It just coughed. See, here's the thing. See, I'm doing that right now. It's horrible. But I'm here all alone. I'm not going in and out. For the most part, I'm using hand sanitizer throughout the day from time to time. But even then, I'm not constantly using it because I'm not going anywhere or doing anything. Why? So on that part, nothing should be different. I don't know. I spray. I went to the grocery store and grabbed a few things. When I came home, I've watched some videos and talking about what to do. Some it's pretty intensive. You can keep your shit outside, away from the house for a day or two before you bring it inside. It's like, wow. I'm trying to be safe. I have a 2-3 mask that I'm thinking I'll need over the span of who knows how long, and I have them because I don't want to go out and I don't want to catch it for sure. I don't know. Everybody should have a mask, and I feel that too. I feel guilty to just have what I have, which was given